85 victory over Furman. Troy is the Sun Belt champion. They beat Arkansas State 94-81. The ACC, Big East, Big 12, and Big 10 tournaments get underway today. NBA, the Nuggets beat the Thunder 140-127. 35 points, 18 rebounds for Nikola Jokic. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had 25 points for the Thunder. He's a top contender for the league MVP, but says that's secondary to winning.
That's what it's all about. That's what it goes back to. And once you win, everything else comes, and I think it's just a product of that. So for me, I just focus on winning, focus on trying to be the best version I can be for this team, and wherever that takes me, it takes me.
Bundle auto and home, renters, or condo, and save with Progressive. That's the SportsGrid Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce.
It's Spruce, the new hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV wins.
What, are you going to take the RV to the lake or clean out your closet?
RV wins!
Putting the dishes away or taking the RV camping?
RV wins!
Cleaning the fridge or taking a trip to the beach?
RV wins!
You might want to clean the fridge real quick because, mold.
We clean out the fridge, then take the RV out.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states and situations.
You've heard of smart bombs,
smartphones, smart cars, smart watches, and smart glasses.
Now you can add smart player,
giving you sports gaming strategies and information 24/7.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
The only place in football where the offense is always on the field is on Moneyline. With the two best hosts in radio, Donnie Rightside.
If anybody wasn't watching, listen, I don't know what you were doing.
And Kevin Walsh.
Forget act like you've been there before.
On the SportsGrid Radio Network, Sirius XM Channel 159.
Teach your kid to grow up and be a football player because free agency money's being handed out hand over fist right now with a lot of deals we'll go over, but the best hour of your day is now officially underway. It is Moneyline. It's Donnie and Kevin here, and my goodness, we got college basketball we got to get to, but the NFL continues to press the lever down, which we'll get to in a few moments. I just want to start with this topic here. I look at the NFL, right? I look at the NBA, right, and let's just say, I don't know, hockey per se, as like that fourth, little bit down the ways professional sport to the other big three. I say to myself, how much fun football is. Free agency hits in the tampering period, and it is a constant barrage of minute after minute after minute deals left and right. So much fun to watch it play out. And my first thought that comes to mind is to go, baseball has thousands of free agents, and nobody gets a damn signature on a check until like February, months away. Can you imagine, though, Kevin, like just before we get into the nuts and bolts of what's going on in the NFL is, why doesn't baseball have a flurry of hundreds of signings in the first 24 hours?
Yeah, that's exactly how it should be. The NBA started all of this. The NBA is still, to me, the absolute best at this, with not just free agency, the deadline, trade requests, like real player movement, because the reality is people love this stuff. Like if Myles Garrett was in the NBA, he probably would be on a new team, but, he ends up staying with the Cleveland Browns. The NFL has continuously gotten better and better and better at it, and they now kind of unleashed the, legal tampering window. Now, it's absurd that we have full contract details unleashed, but we're like, we think Milton Williams will be a Patriot. It's like, shut up. It's so stupid. But, this is the stuff that baseball always gets wrong. Always gets wrong. The free agency start. It's why we used to love the MLB trade line used to be the cream of the crop. And now we get to the MLB trade and I'm like, yeah, there's only like 4 sellers. And it's like, what? Yeah. I don't even know what's going on anymore.
And here's what's going on out there, people. Just signed Daniel Jones the Indianapolis Colts for as much as $17.5 million. That means he's been brought in as actual competition because understand this. I've crushed Jim Irsay in the past because I don't think he's a very good owner overall. Scatterbrained. Jonathan Taylor, you are the worst player I've ever seen. I will never pay you. Sit out to, man, that guy's the best I've ever seen here. He's a monster contract. Get back in camp 24 hours later. He does things that are odd. But you want to talk about money not well spent? If you sign Daniel Jones to, let's just say, the escalators take it up to 17.5. 1 year, $14 million as your backup, and he never sees the field. I don't know what Indianapolis is doing right now, but that contract leads me to leave. They are worried, Kevin, about Mr. Richardson back there.
Yeah, which to me suggests that they are terribly ran. And every indication was there last year as well. Anthony Richardson started like 4 college games.
Mm-hmm.
I think the real number's like what? 10? Honestly. They, 4 weeks ago? Not even. Ballard's at the podium. We knew Anthony Richardson was going to take time when we drafted him. Year number 1, didn't get to see a lot of him because he was injured for the season pretty quickly. Year number 2, he's in the lineup. He's out of the lineup. Joe Flacco will save this season. Oh my gosh, Joe Flacco's terrible. Whoops. Sorry. AR, get back out there. And they're now dead set on bringing in competition for Anthony Richardson. But these fools have somehow convinced themselves they need to pay anything that resembles real money for that competition. Lost. They are absolutely lost at the wheel. In fact, Donnie, let's go back to some of the other analysis you've used for other teams. You know what they should do? Tell Richardson you are playing every snap, every game. Because if you're terrible, good. We won't see you again, and we drafted a new quarterback inside the top 3 anyway.
True.
Every Daniel Jones snap this season is a disaster for this football team.
Yep. You're right about it. You're absolutely correct. It's almost what you call a kid, Kevin. You're going to sink or swim out there. You're either going to perform really well or you're going to drop like a rock to the bottom. And you know what? We're okay either way at that point. We just don't want you saying, hey, play good for 6 games, then get injured for the next 4 weeks. Like, we just can't have that at this point. But, Kevin, there's some big deals brewing out here. Let's put this up here. Little mysteries in Philadelphia, Kevin. Why is that? Do they have anybody left on defense? We don't know. But C.J. Gardner-Johnson just a few days away from saying, man, get these bum-ass vets out of town here. We're fine with these young boys back in the secondary.
Yeah.
Another vet on the move. It's C.J. Gardner-Johnson to the Houston Texans, who now look like they have the semblance of a knockout secondary with absolutely nobody on their offensive line.
Yeah, the weird part is, as they've lost member of the offensive line, their offensive line was atrocious. So I think their thought process was, we can afford to lose these guys. Like, it's not going to kill us, Donnie, to lose a guy who's terrible. That's kind of the MO. I think for Philadelphia, the Chauncey Gardner-Johnson stuff potentially off-field was as impactful as on-field. I'm a fan of his. That's pure Eagle analysis.
Mm-hmm.
He is a lot of fun. He's a guy you love to have on your team. He was a huge part of the Super Bowl victory, the Super Bowl run, and we all know that.
Mm-hmm.
It saved the Eagles some money. There were exits we were expecting, both Milton Williams and Josh Sweat. I think both of us thought would be out the door. Slay, Bradbury. Okay, again, not really much of a thought there. Gardner-Johnson was not one that I was expecting. And now you look a little bit at the Eagles offseason and you go, okay, they've retained some guys. Who have the Eagles brought in anybody new? Right?
No.
So you go, well, you have to be worse then. You have to be. If all you've done is send guys out, you have to be worse. That's just kind of. Now, guys can get better, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean. I'm not telling you the Eagles are set up to be bad, right? But the Eagles have to do a little bit more. They're going to have to either have a very good draft, Donnie, make a trade. They're going to have to do some stuff here kind of to fill out the rest of this roster.
Now, understand this. Like, Howie Roseman, I think, is the best general manager in football. He obviously had this game plan together because he sent out one of those cryptic tweets / I'm going to do an interview. Hey, you better be patient out here. Understand what the Eagles are doing, too, because they made it. The point was, we cannot lose Zach Bond. We got to sign him, bring him back here. Well, I think we have movable parts everywhere else. Other linebacker. That means Nakobe Dean's probably having a very good offseason with the rehab. They expect him to be back next year. And it'll be cheap. So on the end of his rookie contract. Sidney Brown was drafted in the 3rd round to be that takeover safety. He got injured in that meaningless Giants game 2 years ago, made his way back to the field. He'll take over for C.J. Gardner-Johnson. But understand this, too. There's been a lot of money. Like, the Eagles have enough money to sign a lot more players. They're clearing cap space. Now, does that mean the end of Mekhi Becton because you got a guard? Not necessarily. The Eagles might have just did that as a salary dump, saying, we don't want to cut this guy. We'll trade him. We'll pick up a 5th-round pick. We'll trade you a 6th-round pick. Give us somebody back in return. Offensive line depth. Stoutland probably said he liked him 3 drafts ago. Bring him in, and that'll be fine.
Yeah.
But there is a larger move here that's going to be loading. And understand this, too. Free agency doesn't end in the first 2 days. You'll see some of these veteran bargains down the line come through. It's just interesting where you operate saying, boy, we had the perfect team last year. We know we can't afford them all in the future, but paring it down piece by piece. And some of these guys got big contracts, like Milton Williams goes. I like what New England's did. New England actually has a really good defense, horrendous offense. Let's see what they do on the offensive side of the ball. Running back, tight end. Matt Collins isn't going to be that end-all, be-all at the wide receiver position.
No.
I've actually got myself so caught up, Kevin. It's hard to catch up on the NFL with how many teams traded or players traded teams yesterday. It's unbelievable. We'll try to decipher that and get to college basketball up next right here on Moneyline.
We give you expert analysis and information 24 hours a day.
7 days a week.
Any easier and the government would ban us. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
With the SportsGrid News Flash, I'm Trey Westerberg. Utah will become the first state to ban fluoride in public drinking water. This comes despite widespread opposition from dentists and national health organizations. Governor Spencer Cox said he would sign legislation that bars cities and communities from deciding whether to add the mineral to their water systems. The CDC says fluoride strengthens teeth and reduces cavities by replacing minerals lost during normal wear and tear. Utah lawmakers who pushed for a ban said putting fluoride in water was too expensive. New Jersey Transit and its rail engineers said Monday that they've tentatively agreed on a new labor contract averting a possible strike. NJ Transit President and CEO Chris Koluri and the Brotherhood of Locomotive Engineers and Trainmen's General Chairman Thomas Haas announced the deal in a joint statement. The union's rank and file are expected to vote next month on whether to ratify it. I'm Trey Westerberg with the SportsGrid News Flash.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
With Progressive, renters can save on protection for the things that make your place yours, even things that don't make sense to everyone.
People always wonder why I don't get rid of my guitar since I never play. But it's like, what if I actually end up taking lessons? Sure, I've had it for 8 years, but if I get rid of it, then what will my New Year's resolution be next January?
Exactly. So bundle your renters and auto and save with Progressive and protect the things that make sense to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations. Covered subject to policy terms and conditions.
You don't have to listen to SportsGrid.
You can always go out in the woods at night, look up, and wish on a shooting star. Or you can get the winning edge right here.
And you won't find any ticks on you the next day.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Right back at it here. It's Moneyline. Boy, things are changing in the NFL. Quarterbacks all over the place changing hands. Sam Darnold goes out to Seattle, no surprise there. Justin Fields ends up with the Jets. Now, did we talk about that yesterday on the show? Was that already out? I think that was after we left.
It was.
Some people will hear me the way I talk about teams like the Vegas Raiders. Like, oh, he just hates everybody who stinks. Like, I love the Justin Fields move, Kevin.
Oh, seeing it the same.
He couldn't go back to Pittsburgh. And people might say, oh, no, he's not the perfect fit in Pittsburgh. They're looking for more of a pocket passer. That's the way they're setting up with DK Metcalf. You go to the Jets on what we call a very team-friendly, player-friendly deal. Will make more money than they did last year. The perfect look-see. If he stinks this year for the Jets, who cares? You're only building for the future. You wanted to get a look at that quarterback. If he plays well enough to be like, you know what? this guy's top 15 in the NFL, or at least we think he can be.
Yeah.
What a great move. Because then next year in the draft, Kevin, you might have had a bad season. You might have only won 6 games. You got a great draft pick. You don't need, hey, we got a package. This year's 1, next year's 1, and 2 twos to go get our quarterback. You got him there. I love this move for the Jets because now there's no pressure on Justin Fields. You can actually draw up a playbook that goes, hey, Justin, we know you can run the football. How about this year we don't run the football that much? I'm not saying they're going to do that, and I don't want him because I want to bet on his rushing. But you can actually build an offense for him and go, kid, you're going to start 17 games. There's nobody behind you. Go out there and have fun. And if you show you can be the quarterback we think you can be, Kevin, the next year, Woody Johnson's breaking out the bank account to sign you, weapons all over the place, and away we go with the Jets.
It's fun when we agree, and we couldn't agree more on this. Yep. It is a move that I think people had this quick negative reaction to.
Yes.
And I think that they were maybe off from their starting point. You know, the Jets quarterback position was one that was kind of beating me up in what are they going to do? Because I hated all the options. Kirk Cousins, come on. Russell Wilson, come on. This is all. And at 7, they're kind of drafting in no man's land where if there's a quarterback on the board for them to take at 7, it probably means the quarterbacks aren't that good, if that makes any sense. Like a quarterback shouldn't really be there for them at 7 that would be worth taking. And I love even more what you said about how they should approach the Justin Fields season. Hey, Justin, you're not going to throw it 14 times and we're just going to grind out games,
correct?
13-6.
Yep. Not the goal.
Fire it. Just fire it to Garrett. Just pretend you're at Ohio State. I don't know. What worked for you at Ohio State? Let's do those things because that would be. And I also think, Donnie, right, if you're Aaron Glenn, you go, okay, I'm going to be here next year. My offensive coordinator is going to be here next year. Garrett Wilson's going to be here next year. I don't know about Justin. I'm not going to tailor make this offense to him. I'm not going to have us all worried about quarterback power once a drive. Don't eliminate those things, but play football. Because here's the thing. I know it is not likely that Justin Fields is their guy, but it is as likely as it was that Sam Darnold went 14-3, or that Geno Smith now has people calling him a top 10 quarterback, which is great, in the National Football League. Like, instead of this happening to the Jets, maybe it can happen for the Jets. Instead of all the former first rounders from the Jets finding money elsewhere, maybe the Jets can grab one from another team and again, if they don't, that might be better. You might convince me they'd be better if Fields is atrocious for 17 games and draft Arch Manning, Garrett Nussmeier, whomever you want to talk about from the college ranks.
Exactly. It's the perfect fit because my MO in the NFL is, what are you doing with your franchise? Are you looking for future quarterbacks? Are you trying to get your foundational quarterback? Or are you just trying to set in stone like, okay, let's get a look-see, win or lose? Because if the Jets go out next year with Justin Fields and win 9 games, they're way ahead of the curve. But if the Jets go out there next year and win 5 to 6 games, they're still way ahead of the curve because they didn't settle in and say, let's bring Aaron Rodgers back one more year and we're never going to find our future quarterback. This is a step in the right direction. And how about for Justin Fields? Goes to Chicago, which if you do want to do like a 30-30 or a paper for if any kids listening out, they're like, hey, how not to run your franchise? Do what the Bears did to Justin Fields when they got him. Hey, kid, it's you out there and nobody else. Hopefully you can be the best quarterback in the history of the sport and lead us to victory. Otherwise, we're not giving you any help. To now going over to the Pittsburgh Steelers who told him, hey, kid, you're real talented and we drafted you. But Mike Tomlin's like, I don't even know why you're here, to be honest. You're never going to start. So just get over in the corner. To now saying, oh, my goodness. I'm going to get a playbook tomorrow morning. I'm going to be in every OTA. I'm taking every snap with the first teamers right up till game number 1 as if I'm a starter again. Ooh, this feels good with no pressure by week 3 when we're 0-3 and they go, Fields isn't the guy. Try to bring in another quarterback or let Tyrod Taylor let it spin. Like, no, he's never getting benched unless he's injured next year. Love what the Jets did there. On the outside, people, they're going nowhere. Trust me. You got to start somewhere before you move up the list at that point. Other big deals around the NFL too, Kevin. By the way, Najee, here's what I thought was interesting too. The Pittsburgh Steelers, who, let me just ask you this question too, because we're going to run up against the break in a minute or so. Aaron Rodgers, I just see a Dov Kleiman tweet. No, the Giants have had a good conversation with Aaron Rodgers and let him know he can be really good with Malik Neighbors. That's fantastic. That's ridiculous. What do the Steelers do at quarterback? Let's just say Aaron Rodgers and the Giants make the epic mistake of being him a Giant. You can't tell me that they go back to Russell Wilson. That can't be the play for the Steelers, is it?
I think the play for Pittsburgh is drafting a quarterback. I wonder if they are hoping that a quarterback falls to them, but I don't think it is being discussed anywhere near enough that Justin Fields was given two choices, the Steelers and the Jets, and said, whoa, Metcalf?
Big apple.
Pickens? Yeah, right. Get me as far away from this atrocious offense as quick as possible. No, Donnie, they traded for Metcalf. They're beating down his door. Justin, come back. Justin, what are you talking about? And he goes, no way, I'm going to the Jets. Like, nobody's... Donnie, the Jets have the longest playoff drought in football. Mike Tomlin is never bad. And Justin Fields went, see ya. Gangrene, baby. I love that. And it should be a major indictment on the Pittsburgh Steelers.
But I even look at the Steelers, like, I honestly think they're speaking out of both sides of their mouth. I don't think they ever wanted Justin Fields. I remember the excitement.
They love him.
Fields is going to compete with Russ. And Tomlin's like, let me call up every radio station across the country and tell them what buffoons they are for thinking Fields ever has a chance to start here. Nothing made sense with the Steelers. And the new quarterback on the way probably won't make any sense either. We'll be back.
Loser is kind of a mean-spirited slur.
But it doesn't have to stick.
Tell them to listen to SportsGrid and fix it.
No, thank you. Later.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
The SportsGrid Radio Network presents This Date in Sports History.
1986, the NFL adopts instant replay by a vote of 23-4 with one abstention. The system was nixed in 1992 after much criticism by coaches like Mike Ditka of the Bears.
The replay stinks. First of all, the people that are in the booth are unqualified.
Replay was reintroduced in 1999. To this day, the system still isn't perfect. For SportsGrid Radio, I'm Mike DeMurgis.
The Technology Minute with George Capalbo.
The University of Copenhagen's new AI machine learning model can understand the emotional state of animals just by listening to them. With 89.4% accuracy, it acoustically distinguishes positive and negative emotions from 7 different species, including cows,
it's a beautiful game,
pigs,
stop stealing my slop,
and even wild boars.
Have you ever had one of those days?
This breakthrough universal animal emotion translator, a game changer for barnyard quality of life.
You're standing on my foot.
Follow me at G Capalbo on X and stay tuned to the Technology Minute for more cool stuff like this.
The early line.
It's crazy that the teams that I am eyeing up for March Madness, I want them to be quick exits here so it sort of gets them off that front plate. Like if you want Auburn, what's worse for you, Ben? Go all the way through the SEC tournament, win it easily in advance? No, then they're going to become probably a favorite once again over Duke. That's not what you want here. No injuries, don't get embarrassed, head off to March Madness and get me a better price.
It's the early line with Ben Stevens and Donnie Rightside. Weekdays, 8 a.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific on the SportsGrid Radio Network. Winning is no accident.
You gotta be smart about it.
It takes a plan.
All centered around expert analysis and trusted information.
That's what you get.
Right here.
The winning edge. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Right back at it here, talking NFL action. We're going to switch over to the next segment, though, to college basketball. Some, big-time tournaments starting out. The Power 5 conferences are getting underway today, so I do want to get to that with some thoughts on maybe some futures that you can look at. Last night in college basketball, we'll review that as well. But I do want to put a nice little bow here on this free agent status because there's a lot of more things that still need to sort of play out, and that's Aaron Rodgers. Like, there's a couple good free agents still left on the market. Go ahead. What do you got?
I just know it's up your alley.
Go.
I don't mean to stop you, but I know it's up your alley. Shout out to our guy Scott B. He's the Packer fan, DRS.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
He's been with us for years now. He's great.
Yes.
He wrote at SportsGrid at Kevin Walsh needs to be on a Sunday NFL show. Nobody brings the truth like he does. All you hear is how great everyone is. Stop it, right? Now, it's a great tweet, and I like that. Like, listen, we are very honest, and Donnie and I will take our shots at these teams. But I will say, and Scott, I'm assuming that means you're listening, brother. We on a Sunday NFL show.
Like, where's this tweet at? Like, why can't I find it? Did he just send it to you directly? Like, where can I find it?
Here, I'll send it to. No, because I'm gonna send it to you, but now you're gonna quote it, and now I'm worried about the ramifications.
Oh, that's good. I'll just have to hunt. But if you don't, I'll hunt it down and get it myself. Because
I just sent it
you
to
also tweeted back because I put absolutely cooking on our graphic that came out on Twitter, which doesn't where you can watch a show live like that. And he's like, have facts. So I need to see that tweet. So I'm going to wait for that tweet to.
I sent it over
and have some fun with that. So that's the perfect scenario. Like, hey, upper management, if you could put Kevin on or at Mike Cardano, you know what I mean? Can you put Kevin on a Sunday football show?
It'd be nice if this guy works Sunday NFL. That's good though, man.
Needs to be on a Sunday NFL show. Oh, so good.
But like Donnie, is he taking your approach of like we should still be doing NFL shows? Like
I think
nobody cares about the NBA.
Exactly.
Let's get into it.
Yes, like we should have a Sunday NFL show every single week now. Would you go to the studio 3 hours every week to talk NFL action? That'd be tough.
That's my only show. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Like if we reshape the network, like, no more morning shows, just, football, mid-afternoons, everybody wakes up late. You just play the replays of the day before shows from 8 to 11, 11 to 2, and then you get after it. Yeah. Like run this like the way like an actual sports guy does. Like sports guys aren't supposed to wake up at 6 a.m. Why? Because they were watching the late night games until 2 a.m. They need to get their sleep in the morning. We could really make that happen.
We got to move some things around. So what are you saying about Rodgers?
Yeah, this guy, the capabilities. Here's what I'm trying to say. What is his thought process? He's made a ton of money. It's clear that he's no longer the number one choice. Like, oh my God, if Brock Purdy's out of San Francisco, or we're going to kick Brock Purdy out of San Francisco because we want to get Aaron Rodgers in here. That's the wave where we're just so close to win it. We don't want to pay Brock, but we'll pay Aaron Rodgers. Is he at the point of his career now where he goes? And I said this morning. Steelers. I know I'm not first on your list. What happens if we did a Russ move? I come there $1 million. Works out, you pay me long term. It doesn't, you cut me, it's the end of the story. Or is he still thinking like, yeah, I love Pittsburgh. 3 for $140 million. 100 guaranteed. Sign me up.
The problem is if you're the Steelers, right? I don't think you can commit to Aaron long term. He's just not coming off of that caliber of season.
But what I'm saying is, do you think he's at the level going like, I want to play for a contender. I have hundreds of millions of dollars in the bank. Just give me in that. If it works, we will talk numbers down the line. Just put me in your building. Okay. I want to be your quarterback.
But here's my thing. If you're Rodgers, Donnie, right? If you're being like, what caliber of team does he need to go to feel like he has a chance? Is Pittsburgh that level? Because, well, Pittsburgh is the best of the bunch that's available. Is there a world Rodgers sits, waits, and hopes, not in a mean way, but a QB injury opens up the door for him?
No, because I think he would go to a team, Kevin, that if somebody else did get injured, they would come calling that said team for Aaron Rodgers, and he would and they would get compensation back.
Then he has to go to the Giants because the Steelers won't do that.
I don't think he's sitting out at all, put it that way. So I think he's in that too for like, I'll play for the Giants. And if we can make a playoff run, that's fun. But if Brock Purdy again, just throwing Jalen Hurts, Tua Tagovailoa, just a starting quarterback with aspirations of a Super Bowl to start the season. I think that's what he would do. But I think like Pittsburgh is that last shot of, I think I can make this work. Good defense, good coach, winning organization. Let me see one final time. I think he might be able to do it. College basketball next. Let's get started.
It's easy to get SportsGrid almost anywhere with our mobile app.
So give us a break.
We're not going to tap your screen for you. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Progressive presents the SportsGrid Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders. The Jets have reached a $40 million contract with quarterback Justin Fields. It's a 2-year contract. The former Bears first-round pick is expected to be the Jets' opening day starter. The team could also add a quarterback in the draft. The Jets landed Fields after losing 4 major contributors Monday: right tackle Morgan Moses, cornerback DJ Reed, defensive tackle Javon Kinlaw, and linebacker Hassan Reddick. Meanwhile, former Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers could have a deal in place by today with the Steelers. The Rams will reportedly release Cooper Kupp if no trade is made. The news comes a day after the Rams announced that they agreed to sign 6-time Pro Bowl wide receiver Devontae Adams on a 2-year deal. Sam Darnold has signed a 3-year contract with the Seahawks worth $100.5 million. They added the quarterback just 3 days after agreeing to trade Geno Smith to the Raiders. Bundle auto and home, renters, or condo and save with Progressive. That's the SportsGrid Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother was saying he got life insurance from Ethos. With Ethos, it only took 10 minutes, and he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit GetEthos.com. That's GetEthos.com.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
How to tell if you have the winning edge. Take a sheet of paper.
Crumple into a ball.
Throw it at a trash can. Even if you miss, so long as you're listening to us,
you have it. Get the winning edge.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Ooh, right back at it. College basketball, does somebody say that? By the way, 1-2 last night for me. Disappointing. Went to bed a winner up with 1-0. Woke up in the morning, lost the 2 late games. One didn't go to overtime, which I needed. I found out Big Cat was on that game on some ridiculous 16-game win streak. Yeah, which was the over, which we needed 2 free throws from a 90% free throw shooter to be made, and he missed both of them. So overtime didn't happen there. And then I lost to St. Mary's over by a couple points with Pepperdine yesterday. Like 137.5, game that of like 133, 134. So it was close, but I had a good weekend Friday. Took the day off Saturday. Another good weekend Sunday. Went 3-2 on Sunday, but the shame was I did get gypped a little bit in 2 of those games. Should have had a better day, but probably deserved 1-2 yesterday, so I'm fine with that. But been enjoying like first like competition. So much fun to handle. Sometimes, and by the way, 2 good starts in the first half really grind to a halt in those games last night, which sometimes you see in those big pressure situations where every possession counts because most of these teams, you lose, you're out. Your season's done. You're not playing anymore. But today, we do have a start. We're going to get to the individual games in a second. They start at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. That's Cincinnati and Oklahoma State out in the Big 12. But I wanted to take a look at some of the futures that were up here on deck. So let me just bring this up here. And by the way, are you traveling at all since you're closer now to Atlantic City for the Metro Atlantic?
I don't.
Not that bad a ride for you right down
I hadn't planned. I did not plan on it. I would have to see. No, I don't think I can. Just kind of thinking about my schedule. Now set these up while I get her out of the room because she's.
Yeah, here's what we're doing, guys. We're going to set up the tournaments here that start the major conferences, right? ACC tournament, Big 12 tournament, SEC tournament. You get the point in this picture. Big 10 tournament. I do want to start in the ACC because that does get underway today. And by the way, even though we get excited, like, hey, the Power 5 conference out there, these games stink today for all intents and purposes. It's one really good game today. Actually, it's not in the Power 5 conferences. It's out west in the WCC, which is Gonzaga, and they're taking on St. Mary's. We'll get to that in just a little bit. But the ACC has it listed here at the FanDuel Sportsbook, a heavy favorite. I think the heaviest favorite across the board right now by far. It's Duke at a minus 330 price. And we were trying to compare and contrast this morning, Kevin, on the early line. Like, boy, look at that price compared to like the other conferences with really good basketball teams. Like, understand this. Duke is phenomenal. Based on Ken Pom, I think the second best season in the history of his website, which shows you how dominant they've been, particularly in the ACC. But also understand this. Duke went 19-1. The two teams behind them, they only had 2 losses. And one of those teams did beat Duke. They're minus 330. The next closest, Clemson and Louisville, the 2 second-place teams. Plus 650 and a 7-1 price. So my question to you to start here is not, hey, do you think Duke wins the ACC championship? But is it worth a flyer where you take a small piece of Clemson and Louisville and say, somebody knocked down Duke, I got money in my pocket and at a good price?
So I decided between 2 teams, neither were Louisville or Clemson. Because I don't think anybody actually thinks one of them is beating. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I don't think anyone actually believes either Louisville or Clemson beats them. One of the teams I was deciding between was that legitimately Duke. Because I think they are that good.
Correct.
And it's like, listen, I know this is ridiculous, but this is going to get paid out. And then what I actually bet was the 30-1 on North Carolina.
Yeah. Let's go. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Yes.
Look,
come on.
If UNC pulls off that upset, they had a second half lead over Duke just the other day. That's the ticket that I want to hedge. That's the ticket that I want to hedge in the final. That's the big ticket. That's a free roll. That not Clemson at 7-1.
Yes.
And then, first of all, the Louisville game's a coin flip. Just saying you pick Clemson, right? Then you get to, and let's say you don't get lucky, right? And let's say we're wrong about North Carolina. You play Duke. Duke's going to be like minus 600 to win that game. You're not hedging that. You're like, just hope. You know what I mean? So
they did. So did they play Duke? What, round 2? Is it probably going to be? I think Ben was trying to break it down when it is.
In the semifinals, essentially.
And honestly, I wouldn't even hedge that because like a $25 bet right now, 28-1 on FanDuel is $700 back to you. $700 win.
Yeah.
And it is far-fetched and it is long, but Kevin is right. Like if smart better goes, Duke's probably going to win this and minus 330 is there for a reason. Clemson and Louisville probably the best teams to knock off Duke if they can. Clemson, by the way, already beat Duke. There's a chance there. But I just look at saying like time and circumstance. Duke gets knocked out in this tournament. Man, does Cooper even want to play in March Madness? Like, no, they're going to March Madness. It's going to be a great basketball team. They're going to be a great bet. Probably still like worst case if they get knocked out early, a 2 seed. Worst case, which is they could probably get beat round number 1 again and still be a number 1 seed, depending on how some of the other conferences play out. Except any crazy stuff happens. But I just look at that and say, like, Carolina is not like, okay, we beat Duke, awesome, we're in. No. Like they have to finish the deal and go quad one to after them to take advantage of that. Oof.
Yeah, I see it as well. I took the North Carolina shot. If it comes in, it comes in. Again, like I think Louisville Clemson is such a hard game that people be like, and then I'll just hedge it when they play Duke. It's like you have a dogfight on your hands.
Yeah,
either side of that equation. I have a future in for all the Big Five, so we can go to any one of them that you want to go to.
Let's go. Big 12 conference up next there. Houston, obviously, best team in conference, play plus 110, but boy, 5 to 6 teams in that with a legitimate chance. And just based on the odds, right? Usually it's like, hey, you get down to the 5th or 6th team, they're 40-1. Like you down to the 6th team, that's BYU. That's 12-1. Kansas, 12-1. Arizona, plus 950. Iowa State, plus 550. Texas Tech, plus 340. Then Houston at a plus 110 price. I already have an affinity for Texas Tech and Iowa State. I just do. I like their metrics. I like the way they play. They can shoot the 3. They can play D. Everything I need for myself to sort of have a winning ticket. So I always look at these tournaments like, how can I fade the top team in at Houston? I would do the same thing again. Like in the ACC, I'm not saying I want to take Louisville because I don't think Louisville is great, even though their conference record is good. They pounded everybody because they're bad. Same thing with Clemson. I think Duke runs away. Houston is great, 19-1. But I don't think they run away with this conference. So I'm more likely to say, how about Texas Tech or Iowa State? Or even something crazy. Like Kansas, I think, is being priced way higher than what they should be. They should be 15, 16, 17, 18-1, but they're playing in Kansas City. Every game they have there, Kevin, that's going to be a home game here. I am so intrigued by the Big 12, but if I had 2 bets to knock off Houston, I still would go Texas Tech. I love those 2 teams. I just love them.
I played Texas Tech at plus 425. I think Houston's the best team. I think Houston's going to win the national championship. But I have some respect for Iowa State and BYU, and I think that's a tough game. So at plus 105, which is what I saw the other day, I wasn't enamored with that Houston number. However, I don't believe in Baylor very much, Donnie, so I fully expect Texas Tech in the semifinal. And I think Kansas versus Arizona is a heck of a game. I think Kansas is a little more dangerous than Arizona to Texas Tech. That's me.
Me too.
But I also don't want to fall in love with Kansas just because they cashed me a best bet ticket this weekend, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to, go head over heels. So I played Texas Tech at plus 425. If they play Houston in the final, Houston will be favored, but on a neutral 4, maybe and a half, right?
Yeah,
I'll
maybe
be able
less,
to. I'll be
depending on how
able
those
to
two
move
teams are
off
playing,
that.
yeah. Yep.
I'll be able to move off that if I feel so inclined. And if they're not playing Houston, I'll probably just give Texas Tech then the opportunity to win that thing outright.
Yeah, it's a great conference tournament because I think there's legitimately 5 teams that can probably win that conference, and that's saying something with how good Houston is. But everything changes, man. Neutral court makes things a little bit crazy. Teams match up evenly. You get hot. I always talk about the slingshot effect where some of the bye teams catch a hot team that's already played well earlier on that round or maybe 2 rounds before that. It gets fun. Big East tournament. St. John's by far the favorite here, plus 140. They're essentially playing on their home court. They're going to have home crowd advantage, as well as UConn does bring a lot of fans down from Connecticut into the Garden. But St. John's, that's their building. Connecticut's 410, along with Creighton 410. Marquette 6-1, Xavier 8-1, Villanova 16-1. Are we believing in the Johnnies? Like they're going to run the table in the Big East tournament as well? Like I don't know if that price doesn't buy for me, Kevin. Plus 140. I'm not. I can't take that plus 140.
I'm not as in on everyone as St. John's. I think they can. I was going to bet Marquette, but I had too much respect for Xavier. I went to the other side of the bracket. I played Nova at 15-1.
Wow. Just do they need it? UNC style?
I don't think UConn's that good. I don't think Creighton's that good. I think Nova's around the same range as those teams.
You're listening to one of the last places on earth where a man can be a man and not get those looks.
Welcome aboard, good sir.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Progressive presents the SportsGrid Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders. Yankees ace Garrett Cole will have Tommy John surgery. He'll be sidelined for the entire season and at least part of the 2026 campaign. The decision was made after seeking a second opinion, after saying he felt an alarming amount of pain after getting drilled in his spring training game on Thursday. He gave up 6 runs on 5 hits, including 2 home runs over 2.5 innings. It's the second major blow to the Yankees starting rotation this spring after Luis Gil, the reigning American League Rookie of the Year, sustained a lat strain that was expected to keep him sidelined for at least 3 months. Women's hoops, the Big East champion is UConn. They beat Creighton 70-50. It's the 23rd Big East title and 5th consecutive for the Huskies. Arkansas State won the Sun Belt Championship with an 86-79 overtime victory over James Madison. Bundle auto and home, renters, or condo and save with Progressive. That's the SportsGrid Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, a Pfizer vaccine.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine. It can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just 1 dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
When it comes to odds on daily sporting events, it's complicated when you factor in everything from current wind speed
to how hot a player's girlfriend is.
But you don't have to mess with that.
Just keep it here
and listen.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Oh, there's blood in the water in the SEC, people. There's blood in the water. Auburn, plus 155. Florida, plus 240. Alabama, 5-1. Tennessee, 6-1. And then the Kentucky fall off, 23-1 to 23-1, Kentucky and A&M. Put it this way. Auburn, Florida, Alabama, Tennessee. You didn't take anybody behind them, did you?
No.
Yeah.
I considered
Kentucky.
I considered Kentucky. But here's why I didn't. Here's why I didn't play.
You read in on them. rating on
No,
the SEC.
no. I'll tell you why I didn't play Kentucky mainly. So I think they can beat Bama.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they can do anything beyond that. I don't think they're beating Florida. I don't think they would win the championship. Now it's a big number, Donnie. Like Kentucky's playing well defensively over the last
Where is
few.
it, by the way? Atlanta? Where are they?
Nashville.
Nashville. Okay.
I think.
All right.
No. But I played one of the big four.
So Auburn, Florida, Alabama, and Tennessee. I have a blind spot for Florida. I have to reevaluate this week. And I don't know if it's going to, because I always tell you this too. I don't want, like, I'd be so, like, if Texas Tech, honestly, runs through the Big 12 and wins it, I'm going to be pretty upset by that. Because then I feel like it opens the eyes to, like, oh, yeah, that's right, they're good. Or Iowa State. I almost want one of those teams, like, let's just say I was like, hey, man, I think Auburn's going to win it. They get bounced round one. And it's like, maybe they were a paper champion in the SEC this year. And that price point goes up another $1 or $2. Like, now's my time to pounce. So I'm going to say that you bet Florida then. I'm going to say you bet Florida. No?
No.
All right.
No.
Bama?
No.
Wow. It can't be Tennessee.
It is.
Wow. I can't do it with Tennessee. Now give me reasoning. Give me some reasoning.
I'm trying. So my reasoning is I couldn't get involved with the bottom of that bracket because I think Kentucky might beat Bama, but they can't beat Florida. I think Bama would beat Florida if they got there, but I'm not sure I like any of them in the championship game. If all of the prices were even, I would be betting Auburn. I would be, but they're not even. And I have, you're looking at plus 150 for what is supposed to be the deepest and best conference the sport has maybe ever seen. I cannot get there. Auburn's beaten all of them, right? They beat Florida. They beat Bama. They've beaten Texas A&M. They can't beat Kentucky for whatever reason. Their loss to Auburn was by 2 on the road. But Tennessee, again, it's just to win a tournament like this. To me, if they get through Auburn, I feel great about it. And that's in the semis. I don't know. I don't buy A&M as much of a threat. I think that's part of the reason I'm getting the caliber of number I am, Donnie, in that 4-5 potential. I don't know. I'm maybe not giving A&M enough respect. And I'll say this, and I'm not sure I will. There's a part of me that might consider betting Auburn Moneyline if those teams meet in the semifinal as a hedge.
Yeah.
Now, I know that's dangerous because Tennessee can win that game. I lose my hedge, then get eliminated in the final, and now I've lost extra. I think it's either going to be Tennessee or Auburn, though. So that's kind of the Auburn number was too good to be for me to pass up on.
It's going to be fun to watch that SEC tournament. When's that start? Tomorrow, I want to say? Obviously, if it's not starting today, it's got to start on a Wednesday.
Yeah, it's tomorrow.
Today.
Yeah, it's tomorrow. It starts tomorrow. Let me just say this quickly before you move over. Just you mentioned the blind spot on Florida. So everybody knows how high I am on Houston. I couldn't agree more with you. I wanted to take some time to really dive into who deserves what seed. I think Florida should be in front of Houston in terms of one line. Now, that stuff usually doesn't matter, but that is how good the Florida resume is.
It's good.
Like, that team, they are very, very... Again, all the results suggest they are fantastic.
No, and it does. And for some reason, I've been waiting on the team. Like, they really this good at this point. But you're right. The resume is they can beat anybody, anywhere, at any time. Play multiple ways. You want to score 100 points, they can do it. You want to play a little bit of defense, they can do that as well. It's a fun team to bet and handicap, but I just don't feel like I have a grasp on them just yet. And that could change because that's why, like, it's fun to talk about the conference tournaments without me saying, like, hey, I took a piece of Duke to win the national championship. Like, I really need to see how these teams play this week out because it's like, hey, Garrett Cole's best pitcher in the American League. Let me bet him to win the Cy Young. Oh, you were still in spring training. Doesn't matter. I'm not going to get a better price point. Guy goes down with the injury. Like, what did I even do? Now, Grant, by the way, if you put that bet in, you get your money back?
I think no. I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. The only thing I would reach out to the book and say, listen to me. I understand you're not going to give me the money back, but please grade it as a loser. I am begging you because I cannot scroll past this until
for 6 months?
December. 6 months?
And
you don't have those awards out.
I never asked the question about even if I get my money back. And they never gave it back to me. Like, I wonder if I get my $100 or so back or whatever it is. Yeah, that's a terrible press. That's why I hold off, because I do want to see, like, man, I love Duke. They just gave him the worst run, I think. Now, granted, can Duke overcome a bad run in a tournament? Sure they can. They're that talented. But you want, like, oh my God, Kevin, they don't even get a matchup to the Final Four. Like, that's what you want.
Yeah. Last year, UConn, people were like, whoa, Auburn's the 4 in their bracket. And then Auburn lost to Yale. And it was like,
yes,
well, never mind.
Exactly. Like, the shakeup, which I guess it was before. Like, I remember being a kid, like, get the Sharpies out and stuff like that. Like, I also remember how good brackets. Now, like, now in this day and age, it's like, man, brackets explode, like, in the first 6 games of the tournament now. It used to be like, hey, man, first down, lost one team. And now it's like, no, I lost, like, one team in every single bracket day number one. So congrats. And 2 of those were Sweet 16s. One was an Elite 8. I lost my Final Four team day 1. Like, it's always going to pop up. Big Ten for Michigan State, I do think, is the best team in that conference, plus 250 price. But it just feels like, again, when we talk about price points, plus 250, plus 370, 6-1, plus 750, plus 750, plus 750, 16-1, 16-1. It feels like anybody can win this conference. Because I love the way Michigan State plays. They're not special. They play good defense. They play good offense. And they got Izzo. But you don't look at them as like Duke running through the ACC, or even like Houston, like, hey, man, that's a real pedigree. They are the best team in the Big Ten. But if you tell me, like, Purdue knocks them out before even, like, the Big Ten championship, like, that's the way it goes.
I think it's a lot to ask Michigan State to win this tournament with the amount of wins they've been stacking in the regular season.
Yeah,
I took UCLA, plus 850 number. Wow. I think they're being a little disrespected here heading into this tournament.
How about that? Big Ten tournament. Let's get to some of the games of the day today, which include Gonzaga, St. Mary's next.
This is the place. This is where you'll get expert perspectives and sports gaming strategies 24/7. And it's free. Beat that, you cheap. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network. The new SportsGrid app is now available on iOS and the App Store. Experience the ultimate sports betting companion that provides personalized content from your favorite hosts. In-depth matchup previews, game and prop picks, live odds, stats, scores, and more. All in one place. And of course, on the SportsGrid app, you can tune into our live television and radio coverage anytime. On the go, wherever you are. Download the SportsGrid app on the iOS App Store now. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Imagine combining the exciting investment opportunity of cryptocurrencies with the power of artificial intelligence to maximize your IRA, 401k, or other investment funds. Listen, if you're looking for ways to accelerate your retirement growth, Block Trust IRA has market-leading strategies and solutions for all levels of investors, from $1,000 to millions. And they partner with Bitcoin Magazine's #1 crypto trading fund in the world to maximize your returns. Plus, their team of IRA specialists is here to help you roll over your IRA or qualified retirement account to the new world of cryptocurrency investments. So make this free call right now to set up your account and learn more.
800-434-5313. 800-434-5313. 800-434-5313. That's 800-434-5313.
Football Full Circle.
How do you not know if it's going to be Justin Fields? They've mentioned Sam Darnold, Aaron Rodgers. It's like, let's just throw some stuff at the wall, and whichever quarterback fits, I guess, the price and wanting to play for Pittsburgh is who's going to be our face of the franchise for the next season. It's absolutely ridiculous.
It's Football Full Circle with Ben Stevens and Joe Lisi. Weekdays, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on the SportsGrid Radio Network. Think of us as your cool roommate that has this innate gift of somehow always picking winners and never bugs you about doing the dishes or paying rent. Sports gaming strategies and information 24/7.
Get the winning edge.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
12:30 basketball today, Kevin. You got any thoughts? Cincinnati, Oklahoma State. We know OK State loves to go fast. A little tempo action. Line goes from 138.5 to 137.5. I struggle a little bit at the 2 games start of the day, 12:30 and 2 p.m. Pittsburgh, Notre Dame, bad and bad. Cincinnati, Oklahoma State, bad and bad. You dip your toes in these? Arizona State, K-State, Syracuse, Florida State, any of those games? Or are you focused more on the games that mean something, quote unquote, today?
No, I will, just because, I appreciate the big conferences.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done anything yet, though, right? So I don't know if I'll. Ooh. You know what I'll say? I don't
Cal
like.
even plays in the ACC.
It's very weird. This might be a bad take for me that like last year me wouldn't agree with.
Yeah,
but I don't like that now the conferences got so big. Not everybody makes the conference tournament. I don't like. I don't think I'm here for that.
Yeah, leaving some teams out. Do they not get paid, or they still get paid for it?
What payment were? I didn't even know payments were coming in.
Yeah, I mean that's why they have the conference tournament. You know what I mean?
I didn't know that.
Bigger pool for the conference.
Yeah, that
otherwise
makes
we wouldn't
sense.
have it at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I just figured that's how we get in, right? Like I didn't even think too much into it there.
You gonna
all
be
right,
up
so
at 9
that
o'clock
makes sense.
tonight though? Zags, Gales.
I was on the Dons
West
last
Coast.
night, so that was good.
Cover
14 and a half.
Pepperdine. See Pepperdine closing like a 14-2 run to get under that number from St. Mary's.
Is that really what happened?
Yeah.
Whoa, wow.
Yep.
I was upset. I missed out on I was going to take the Blazers catching 12. They're down 13. Simons hit one with like 6 seconds left. It would have been nice to be a part of that, but I just didn't even bet the game.
Yep. Lakers fall apart. Probably go back to 6th seed now all of a sudden. Tough scene, tough loss to Brooklyn.
No, it is a tough loss. I mean, listen, they were very shorthanded, but they were still booked as a favorite. Yeah, you could tell he was upset. It's a bad game to not take serious because I don't know if they're going to be fully healthy when they have to play Milwaukee either. So they're in a tough spot.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved it because the Brooklyn got a victory, now tied up with the Sixers. Keep going, Brooklyn. Come on, roll.
Yeah, look, Brooklyn's just powering through, man. Everybody thought their win total was 19 and a half. I mean, they absolutely smashed that number.
Did.
The Heat are abysmal. They're pathetic.
They got beat. Mm-hmm.
Spoelstra, by the way, has no longer any claim to
the
best
greatest
coach. No, absolutely not. They have the most losses this year when leading by 15 or more. You can't be the best coach in the NBA when that's the case. You just cannot.
Door. Slam the door
that's
shut.
done. The NBA slate's pretty light tonight, right?
It is light. Only 4 games. Only 4 games tonight. 2 spreads are like 2 touchdowns or higher. Cleveland's like 19-point favorite today over Brooklyn. Like it's just bad basketball across the board. So get ready for that one. Who is it? Clippers, I think 6-7 point favorites in New Orleans. Like it's a bad slate altogether. The Zags St. Mary's night should be a good one.
Yeah.
You have this. The background is St. Mary's beat Gonzaga, both home and away. Neutral court site now. Gonzaga's the favorite. So if you're just looking at lines, that tells you something right there. But I actually do believe, like St. Mary's, I only bet one time St. Mary's against Gonzaga this year, and obviously it was a winner. It was St. Mary's at home. I thought it was the right play at that point. Low spreads in both of those. Low spread again in this one. It's maybe 2.5, 2.5, is it? Where's that line at now? Let me just go down to the bottom of the page. It is 3.5 across the board as a favorite towards Gonzaga. And again, they lost both of their games already. But the style makes it an interesting fight here. St. Mary's, Kevin, best 3-point defense in conference play at chasing you off, which means we don't let you shoot the 3-point shot. You know who has the least amount of volume from 3-point range? It's Gonzaga. But they make a decent amount. So they're like, if wide open, we'll take it. If not, we're not going to press. Point distribution, they're number 1 in conference play, Gonzaga, at scoring inside the paint. 57% of their offense comes inside the paint. You know who's number 1? 58% of giving up points inside the paint. St. Mary's, even though they have the best overall defense in conference play. It's because they don't really foul you, and they don't let you shoot from the 3-point line. So if I'm Gonzaga, I'm like, okay, wide open 3, I'll knock it down. If not, we're going down low. Like, I actually think that line, not just reading the line, I think Gonzaga wins that game tonight. I'm a St. Mary's fan. Like, I never really root for Gonzaga that much. I think Gonzaga's the right play tonight to do.
Graham Ike props then maybe, just based on what I'm hearing from you.
27 and 10 last night too. Yeah,
Huge.
Exactly. Rebounds and down low. Like, we're not looking at 3-point daggers on the outside. Like, hey, I went 4 of 11. Like, I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah. Gonzaga lost this game last year in the final as a favorite.
Yeah.
They kind of had some struggles. They were surged last year. I think they won at Rupp, if I'm not mistaken, and then it just kind of kept going from there. But they lost the final to St. Mary's. I'm struggling with this game. I don't know. I'm gonna have. Can I get 4 with St. Mary's? Can I get 4?
Yeah, locals will give a 4. I'll give that to you. There you go.
Lisi might get a 5.
Exactly. What are they doing out there on the West Coast? There you go. That'll do it for today's show on a Tuesday. Good people on the news. Still on the website. Kevin Wall. See you tomorrow.
It's easy to get SportsGrid almost anywhere with our mobile app. So give us a break. We're not going to tap your screen for you. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.